Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both controversial and critical to understanding modern trade dynamics. Comparing tariffs during the Great Depression to the ones imposed under President Trump in 2025. These tariffs weren't just aimed at China. They impacted a wide range of countries, including America's closest allies, and have severe consequences for the U.S. economy. Let's take a deeper look. Let's start with the Great Depression. In 1930, the U.S. economy was in freefall. Unemployment was soaring, banks were failing, and the stock market had just crashed. President Hoover's response? The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff raised duties on more than 20,000 imported goods in an effort to protect American industries. The idea was simple. Make foreign goods more expensive and encourage Americans to buy domestic products to boost the economy. But the results were disastrous. Other countries quickly retaliated with their own tariffs, leading to a global trade collapse. The U.S. economy, which was already on its knees, got hit even harder. Trade ground to a halt, and the depression deepened, not just in the U.S., but around the world. Now let's jump to 2025. President Trump, after years of tension over trade imbalances and what he called unfair practices by other nations, imposed tariffs across the board. Trump launched tariffs on China and American allies, including the European Union, Canada, and Mexico. We're talking about tariffs on steel, aluminum, cars, and a wide range of other goods. Trump's tariffs weren't about just protecting U.S. industries. They were a weapon in his broader trade war. The goal was to force other countries into trade deals more favorable to the U.S. But these tariffs will cause huge disruptions in global trade. They don't just hurt China. They hurt the economies of Canada, the EU, Japan, and Mexico too. And let's be clear, these tariffs didn't just hit foreign markets. They were a double-edged sword that cut into the American economy as well. American consumers faced higher prices on everything from cars to consumer goods. Companies that relied on cheap imported materials found themselves paying more, and many passed those costs directly onto American workers and families. So what's the comparison between these two tariff periods? Both Smoot-Hawley and Trump's tariffs were supposed to protect American jobs and industries, but the fallout was far-reaching in both cases. Let's break it down. First, economic context, Great Depression. The Smoot-Hawley tariffs came at a time when the global economy was already collapsing. The U.S. was looking for any way to stop the freefall. 2025 tariffs. Trump's tariffs are during a time of relative economic strength from his predecessor's policies, but were designed to address trade imbalances and pressure countries like China into making concessions. However, they targeted allies and not just adversaries. 2. Global retaliation. Great Depression. Countries around the world retaliated by imposing their own tariffs, leading to a collapse of international trade that worsened the depression. 2025 tariffs. Trump's tariffs provoked retaliation from China, Canada, Mexico, the EU, Japan, and others. It's created a global trade war that hurts not just foreign markets but also American farmers, manufacturers, and consumers who face higher costs and disrupted supply chains. Third impact on the U.S. economy, on Smoot-Hawley. This tariff acted like a hammer to the U.S. economy, causing the stock market to drop even further and leading to an even greater loss of jobs and production. 2025 tariffs. Trump's tariffs are hurting the U.S. economy in a similar way. While some industries like steel manufacturing might see temporary benefits, many others face layoffs and shutdowns. The biggest hit is to the American consumers who pay more for goods and services. The economy hasn't yet collapsed, but it certainly isn't thriving, and it does face the possibility of collapse. 4. Political consequences. Great Depression. The backlash to Smoot-Hawley was swift and intense. It was blamed for worsening the depression, and Congress had to reverse much of it within a few years. 2025 tariffs. Trump's tariffs also spark a huge political debate. Some support them, arguing they are necessary to address global trade imbalances, and Congress is unwilling to do anything to reverse any of it. The economic consequences, like higher consumer prices and strained relations with allies, are hard to ignore. The political fallout is still unfolding as we speak. So, what lessons can we learn from both of these tariff situations? It's clear that tariffs, while well-intentioned, can backfire, especially when they are levied on a broad basis and are not targeted. The global economy is incredibly interconnected. When one country imposes tariffs, it doesn't just hurt foreign competitors, it hurts everyone, including the country imposing the tariffs. In both cases, protectionist policies ended up hurting the very people they were supposed to protect. One big takeaway is that trade wars are costly. Tariffs can spark retaliation, disrupt global supply chains, cause prices to rise for ordinary consumers, and jobs to be lost. And let's not forget, these effects aren't just felt overseas. The U.S. economy, whether in the 1930s or in 2025, is deeply affected by its trade policies. Thanks for watching. If you found this comparison insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think tariffs are an effective strategy, or are there better ways to handle trade disputes?